He introduced the world to reggae music and was one of the first artists from a third world country to reach international stardom. His songs of love, faith, and revolution touched the lives of millions, and his constant message of peace helped shape Jamaica's future. Throughout his obstacles to become one of the most influential artists in history. Hi everybody, my name is Manny, and this is my informational speech on Bob Marley. First, I'm going to inform you about Kingston and how the Rude Boys made Bob Marley. Secondly, I'm going to inform you about his music career. And lastly, I'm going to inform you about his political views. Alright, to begin, let me inform you about Kingston and the Rude Boys and the impact that Bob Marley had growing up. Bob Marley, also known as Robert Nesta Marley, was born in a small ruined Jamaican village called Niles. In the 1950s, him and his family moved to a neighborhood called Kingston, a crowded area where poor people lived, virtually all of them black. The yards they settled were known as trench town. They were made up of road, cheap metal, and paper-top shacks, generally no plumbing, according to Gilmore Killian from the Rolling Stones article issued 969, published 2002. According to RastaManRenovation.com, Marley's mother, Zelda, was worried that her son was growing too comfortable with the ghetto life and was too close to the gang, the Rude Boys. There was friendly fights, even stabbings, the trench town streets, and the sky dances. But he had no expressions for a criminal life. Don't worry, he told his mother. I don't work for them. The truth was, Marley found qualities of ruthless honesty, courage, and rough beauty in the trench town's community yard. And he didn't necessarily want to escape it, according to Emma Rose 59, published 203. These are the trench towns right there, pictures. You might now wonder how Bob Marley began his music career. Bob Marley formed a vocal group which was later known as the Rollers, with his childhood friends Bonnie Roller and Peter Tosh. They spent time sharpening vocal harmonies with singers Joe Higgs. Higgs introduced him to God. He was a producer at the time, and he had one of the local spots called the One Spot. The Waller's album Burning contained I Shot the Sheriff, Get Up, Stand Up, both which gallery cult followings in both US and Europe. All of them pursued a solo career. After that, Bob Marley switched up his music to reggae, according to Butts David's Popular Music, May 2009. Now that I told you a little bit about him, I want to tell you about his political views. On December 1976, at a concert, Bob Marley, his manager, and his wife were all walking to a peace concert. At the time that they were walking up stage, an unidentified gunman walked up to all of them and shot all of them. They all survived, according to Anderson Rick Notes, December 2007. He also was a culture ambassador for Jamaica and for his religion, Rastafari, according to Mary Lee, Africa Today, Spring 05. In 1978, he had a One Love Peace concert where he united two different political parties. These political parties were, at the time, enemies. They were killing each other. They had different views. But he made this possible with his lyrics, his motivation, and he actually got the two people on stage and actually made them hold hands, and supposedly lightning hit. And that was according to Anna Mead, Carson Studies, July-December 94, and it was volume 27. So first, we talked about his hometown and the Rude Boys. Also, we talked about his music career. And lastly, I told you a little bit about his political views. Many people might have their own opinions on Bob Marley. People might know him as a pot smoker. But in fact, Bob Marley was more than just a pot smoker. He was a leader. He had political views. He changed political parties, and he did this with just using his pen and paper. So now for all those stereotypes that judge Bob Marley for just a pot smoker, think about him as much more than that. Think about him as a leader. After 30 years of his death, you still hear him worldwide. So that's my informational speech. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about Bob Marley.